siren. Florence kicked it. Is it there? Did it make the distance? Score review, I reckon.
What's going on, Port fans? Welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we're reviewing round 4, Port Adelaide versus Sydney. Port Adelaide getting the job done by 2 points in what was one of the weirdest, shittest. I don't know how to describe this game of football. It was insane, and I'm very glad that Port Adelaide got the chocolates. I have said it just all week. I was like, you know what, we're gonna win this game. It no matter how crap we are, no matter how bad the fallout's been from last week's showdown. Absolutely just wild scenes at the SCG, and to win, we keep the streak going against the Swans, and now we're back into it, and 2-2 going into round 5. So let's review it and get into Port Adelaide versus Sydney. Firstly, happy Easter to all of you watching this review. It's been quite a funny day, and I do apologise it's not out a little bit earlier than what I wanted. Obviously with Easter celebrations, it's been a lot to think about over the last 24 hours or so with Port Adelaide's very, very gutsy win over Port Adelaide, over the Sydney Swans. I think the one thing to take away from the whole experience was that umpiring performance was one of the worst performances I've seen on an official game of football. Like, that was just both ways. The reviewing process, the weird holding the ball calls, the non-calls, the 50-metre penalty, the Houston free kick. It was just all wild. It was a wild game to watch, and I think, you look from the start, it wasn't a very good first quarter. It was very, very ordinary. Obviously, with one side having a favourable wind, I think at the left-hand side of your screen would have been a favourable wind, and it showed with the end result with the last kick of the game. But we didn't kick the goals early on. We had a fair good crack at it with our pressure. Our skill was absolutely terrible. But we were still there. We were still hanging on. Sydney took a few of their chances, missed a few, and overall, the game sort of levelled out in the second quarter, and it was that patch where we just started getting inside 50s, repeated inside 50s, started playing our game of football and having our pressure. Was definitely a very impressive feature of the night overall. The three things that was main for Port Adelaide were the pressure acts, the continued inside 50, and plus 11 contested possessions. You win the footy from the contest, you get the clearances, you get it inside 50, you give yourself the best chance to take it onto the scoreboard. That was the key, the contested ball, and Port Adelaide did that. Whilst the disposals and the count itself for the midfield wasn't great, I think we had two people over 20 touches, and they were both Butters and Dersma. I think Rosie had 20 as well. But how's that for your top three, by the way? Butters, Dersma, and Rosie as your top three ball winners. Butters was sensational, easily our best in terms of performance. And obviously Alir as well, but I'll get into him in a second. But Wines was serviceable, Boak was good, besides his kicking, and just around the ground, our pressure acts. And the people that Ken brought in were sensational. McEntee, absolutely brilliant up forward. Dylan Williams was absolutely sensational. Who else did he bring in now that it stumped me? Oh, Mackenzie was very serviceable down back as well. And, I think those players really stood up in a situation where backs are against the wall. It's as simple as that. And I talk about how that first half was backs against the wall the whole time. The way we were able to just chip away, just keep chipping away. And we've been doing that for the last couple of years now, just chipping away at games and bring ourselves back into the contest. And this one we actually pulled off and won. So fair play. The second half that I'll talk about is that third quarter. Sydney just got on top a little bit, and even early in the last quarter, they were having set shots and chances at kicking a goal, but they didn't take them. And simple as that, we kicked 4 very quick ones. Marshall's free kick, probably questionable. Rosie's goal was there with that free kick, and Jed McEntee stood up and kicked a wonderful set shot after some great pressure from Todd Marshall, and Darcy Byrne-Jones, who was the sub and looked very, very good as a forward, which concerned me because, funny enough, he was subbed out for Junior Rowley, who came off, and DBJ looked pretty okay, serviceable up forward. without kicking a goal, but his pressure acts were good and definitely looked like he had been given a kick up the old arse to try and rejuvenate him a little bit. But, then it came to the point where Sydney kicked a goal from Dixon's awful 50-metre penalty. Charlie's got to stop giving those away. They're really pissing me off a little bit. And you just give the ball back. You don't. I mean, I know there's a wind and you can make some certain factors into that. Just give the ball back, Charlie. Don't do that. Sydney kicked the goal, go in front. A couple of minutes to go. Then he made it up inside that centre square bounce. Got his own footy from the right contest. Broke through a couple of tackles and put it inside 50. Horn Francis up forward. Very good with a passage of play. Giving it to Dersma. Finlayson takes a wonderful mark. Kicks his third. Puts us in front. And pretty much it's the game from there. And what eventuated into an ending I don't think anyone will ever forget. Ollie Florent celebrating that goal, that wasn't a goal, is by far one of the funnier things I've seen. And you've seen it before. Certain players celebrating and then missing, or the draw, the famous Nathan Brown draw with the Tigers and the Dogs, and he celebrates thinking that the Tigers won, but they didn't. It's just very funny to me to see that. And Sydney players went early. The Sydney fans went early, and the great man, Aliir, what a performance he had. Or without him, we're losing that game by 6 or 7 goals. He was absolutely phenomenal. His pressure, his contested work, the way he defensively structures himself and sets up plays, he's just so important. And just that final punch. Oh my God, that final punch. He's just come in, double-fisted that. The space was created. Dixon was there just in case. The ball was falling short enough that anyone could touch that, even if it was shepherded, which was interesting. But the way he punched that ball out and then the boys got around him, the great wall of Aliir is just amazing to watch. And it just stumps me that we won this game of football. We won it. I don't know how. It's weird. I'm going to combine this into something that I really think was the big effect on the night and how we performed and our attitude across the bench and the way we played. Every player had a good attitude towards the game. They were very much switched on. They obviously, we're not kicking straight or we're not hitting targets. The skill factor was definitely a concern. And the structure at the end where we're leaving Ollie Florent free, 45 out when the game's on the line is concerning. That would have been ripped apart if we didn't win. But the whole attitude of the group, the whole mentality of the group, and the positivity that came from it, Ken Hinkley coaching from the bench was, in my opinion, a masterstroke. And the reasoning he gave in the press conference was second to none, one of the best things I heard all week. From the week that the clubs had, in terms of the bad publicity, the club legends going at each other with Koshi having, we talked all week about Ken's untenable position and what's going to happen with his spot. Should we sack him after round 3? No, should we sack? All of those arguments, fans, everything. It was a really tough week to be a supporter, to be a player, to be a part of the club, member, anything. It was a tough week. To have that guts to win that game under this amount of pressure and to coach from the bench, that was the masterstroke. That was to keep everyone together, to be a part of it, everyone feeling the same thing. Just a little tap of the head, tap of the hat to Ken Hinkley. That was a coaching performance from a person that is under extreme pressure, and he executed. The players executed a plan, and it paid off. Now, that's not going to happen every week, and I'm not saying, we're going to do wonders because Ken's coach. I'm not sitting on the fence or anything. I'm just saying that for this performance alone, from what occurred, that is absolutely fantastic to see. And I'm very, very impressed and very, very proud of what occurred because of it. One final thing before I sign off. Jeremy Finlayson, honestly, it's one of the more courageous, impactful performances that a player has had. And that's just because of the pure commitment to this club, even though of what's happened personally with Kelly, his beautiful partner, and everything that's happening in his family and his personal life off the field, to still come out and to still perform like that at a level that is repaying the faith from both the club and the fans, to give us hope. Like, it generally watching his post-match interview gave me tears. Like, it was just...
Yeah, I hope she's watching. I love her so much, and yeah, this is just a reward of sticking tough and doing it for Kel and Soph back home. And yeah, I'm just happy to be out here playing footy and doing what I love.
The love that he has for his family and the passion he has for the football club. Like, Jeremy, you can't hate Jeremy Finlayson. It's just, what a beautiful human being. Like, just absolutely fantastic. And, you know, it was so great to see him perform and kick the winner. He deserved to do that. He's just a hero at the moment and deserves to be fully celebrated because of it. So, Jezza, just absolutely fantastic. Paul fans, that is the review. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts of this week's game. Unbelievable. We've got Gather Round next week. We're 2-2. Let's hope this gives us a bit of momentum. I did state the next 5 weeks is crucial. That first game of that 5 weeks is a tick. You know, now let's go get another 4 and see what we can progress to for the rest of the season. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new, for plenty more Port Adelaide and AFL content to come your way. The glass table will come out this week as well. We're nearly at 5,000 subscribers. The merch is very, very soon once we get to the 5K. So keep your